Wildcats are next up. We felt pretty good about the way we were able to overcome some things on Saturday against Townsend. After the ball game, we alluded to our players. Had we overcome the adverse situations that came up in that contest the same way against William and Mary, we'd have had our first victory a week or two earlier, and that was a big factor. And the people that deserve a large portion of the credit for us being able to earn this first victory, as I shared with Sammy a minute ago, are our players. Our players have stayed completely dedicated to what we're doing. They've stayed focused, they've worked hard, they practice hard, they do the things you ask them to do. And the positive outlook that's been presented by our assistant coaches has been very commendable, and that is how we've been able to stay on course and give ourselves the opportunity for victory on Saturday. It was a complete team victory. You would have to say that the defense was a main cog in it. We had 5 interceptions, 2 by defensive linemen. Daryl Jones, our strong safety, who has kind of taken over as the quarterback of all that after Nate Dillon went down with a season-ending shoulder injury, came up with 2 interceptions. He also had a couple of breakups and has been kind of the inspirational guy on the defensive side. He had a big day. Jock Fears, who is replacing Emmanuel Matthews, who was done for the season at the field corner, has come up with a couple of plays and an interception. But the 2 big interceptions were by Mike LaPerriere and by a guy that has really come into his own in his senior season, and that's Michael Kennedy. He intercepted a screen pass, ran it back 20 yards for a touchdown. The only fear about that is when I gave him a hug at the end of the run, and he's coming to the sideline, I was not sure I was not going to hurt my back because he's a little heavier than I'm used to picking up. Very exciting time for us, and the defense really rose up. But they tried to run the football 29 times. In those 29 running attempts, we gave up 37 yards, which says that things are fitting together correctly with our scheme and who belongs where within that scheme. Offensively, the guy that earned the Colonial Athletic Association Offensive Player of the Week is a guy that has been very determined all season running the football, and that's John Griffin. He ended up with 200 yards rushing. You have to give some credit to the men up front, and the 2 guys that were really critical in that were Greg Nyland and Kevin Newhall. Kevin Newhall continues to do very good things on the field for us. We feel very good about how he's taking some leadership with that offensive line group and made a big difference for us. It's very good to see Stolsky back on the field. Managed the game clock when we came out of the halftime locker room. Having a very sparse number of people in the secondary, we decided that we're going to take the air out of the football and try to run it as much as we possibly could. And Alex did a very nice job of working the clock down to the short end for us, getting a snap just before the delay of game had a chance of being called. And time of possession being almost half and half in the first 30 minutes, we ended up with almost a 5-minute advantage because of the way he was able to handle the play clock for us. Another young man that was recognized by the Colonial is Kyle Hunt, our true freshman outside linebacker from Brookline. Was the Rookie of the Week for us, and really he offers an awful lot of good things in the way he's able to play that outside linebacking spot, and we're very pleased with his progress. This week we travel up north into Durham, New Hampshire. Most folks would think the Wildcats as being primarily the offensive challenge that everybody faces from them, formations and quarterback running the ball, option plays. As you watch film, in my opinion, the best part of their football team is their defense. Starts with their defensive front. They've got a guy by the name of McNally. It was the Colonial Rookie of the Year on the defensive side a year ago, and I think he's maybe a couple of times better than he was a year ago, and I thought he was outstanding then. You throw on top of that, in their 8-man front, they have 3 linebackers that you could see as possibly all 3 of them being candidates for All-American. Sousa from Marshfield is a guy that flies around and makes an awful lot of plays. You see Ware making an awful lot of tackles from the inside linebacking spot, and their leading interceptor is a guy named Klein that he just seems to be in the right spot all the time. Very talented cornerback and Vasso. When the scouts come through, they all ask about what do you think about him, that kind of thing. Word is that he's going to be someone that is going to be probably called somewhere on that draft day later in the spring and April. As far as their offense, R.J. Toman, he is the Colonial Athletic Association preseason offensive MVP, and he's showing why. A very smart player. I know that everybody remembers Ricky Santos. He's similar but not quite the risk taker that Ricky was, and is a very smart guy and gets them into good plays. You can see that he's audible to various things and does a good job of trying to get the ball to Cackert, a speedy running back and receiver type. But if there is a person in their offensive unit that is a go-to guy, that's Scott Sicko, their tight end. He's an All-American last year. He's a tight end that is only about 235 pounds and about 6'4" and is able to run by defensive backs. He's a really good football player, and we understand that if we're going to keep them under control, we'll have to have some focus on where Sicko is located, and then obviously have our assignments taken care of with the option game that they run quite frequently. Their kicking game is very well-rounded. You know, we think that we need to go up there and play good, sound football and give ourselves the best opportunity to succeed, and I think we have a very good chance to do that. Good luck to everybody. Again, congratulations.